Doing today? So, lots of stuff caught my attention today. I don't know what it was. Some days, not a lot does. Others, everything catches my attention. So, long list of stuff to talk about today. First and foremost, my weekly series of talking to experts today normally would be Jonathan Twombly. He's actually traveling with his family in Europe. So instead of that interview, what I'm going to do is create a presentation on what I am doing in my business the next couple of years. Everybody always is asking, what are you buying? What are you doing? All of those things. And because I talk with so many of you, it really helped me crystallize what I think is going to happen the next couple of years, at least in our business. So I am going to build that presentation right after this discussion. So look forward to that later today. In addition, today starts three presentations: San Jose, San Francisco, and Berkeley, California, where I will be sharing our presentation of what we do, how we build our portfolio, and why busy professionals should get 1 to 4 rental properties via one rental at a time. And once I am done with Berkeley, I will, of course, share with you. Hi, Hector. Good morning. I will share with you the exact presentation. But given I'm going to give it 3 times: San Jose, San Francisco, and Berkeley, I want to make sure they see it first. And then I, of course, will bring it to all of my subscribers because that's just who I am. So, first and foremost, what caught my attention today? Apple. It's first out of the gate. Apple had a warning, which I find interesting on several aspects. First, we talked about it coming, right? On this channel, probably 3 weeks ago, I was like, they're shutting stores in China. This could impact revenue. Turns out Apple had expected it, right? Tim Cook, right, the CEO, is on record or quoted as saying, hey, we anticipated some coverage or some issues. That's why we had a $4 billion range just 3 weeks ago, right? They estimated 63 to 67 billion because they weren't sure what kind of impact there would be. But yet, a $4 billion range just 3 weeks ago was not enough. So I wonder what that means, right? And more importantly, it's not just about Apple, right? It's about all the other gizmos and gadgets that consumers normally would be buying in large quantities that aren't, right? They're sitting at home and all of that. So there's a demand problem, but equally interesting is the supply problem that has kind of been created by this, by so many factories being shut down, parts suppliers, and things of that nature. I was hoping we were getting to the end of this, and I don't think we're to the end of this, right? As of yesterday, I think I was saying that this week we're going to know if it's going to jump again or it's going to wane. I certainly was hoping it would wane. I think we're going to be talking about this for a little while longer. Next up, no specific order. Looks like SpaceX has an interesting kind of thing. Good morning. Oh, there you go. Good for you. Smart. SpaceX had an interesting thing. It looks like they signed an agreement to fly 4 people around the Earth in space for 5 days. I clicked on the article hoping to see what it would cost for such an experience. It unfortunately said, what did it say? Price not disclosed. What do you think? What do you think it would cost to fly around the world, or Earth actually, around the Earth in space for 5 days on some kind of capsule? I'm guessing 10 million each, maybe 15, 20. I don't know. What do you think? How much do you think it would cost? Right? How much did those 4 people spend to get a seat and get that once in a lifetime experience? So I thought that was interesting. Next up, looks like Tesla has been raised at Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley had a price target of 650. They've now raised it to 1200. It seems like Wall Street is becoming more of a believer. Kind of the Elon Musk risk, it looks like it's being taken off, right? Because he has done some interesting tweets and been reprimanded so over the years. So it looks like Morgan Stanley is a believer. Interesting, I also saw an article. Uh, yes, Lewis, I can try to do something like that for you. Um, That's true. Once in a lifetime now, but 20 years could be normal. I'm still not getting on a rocket. I hate flying airplanes. I am not getting on a spaceship. No, or a spaceship on a rocket. No thanks. But did you see the spat between Elon Musk and Bill Gates? Apparently, Bill Gates bought an electric Porsche, which, if you know Bill Gates, he's been a Porsche guy for 25 or 30 years. His first big splurge was some kind of rare Porsche. So give the guy a break. But it looks like Elon Musk took offense and made fun of him, which is just billionaires being petty. Leave each other alone. Looks like Walmart, like I talked about yesterday, who reported this morning, had an underwhelming Q4, which I find interesting, right? Again, this channel is about the consumer. And I think it's just more signs of just how strong Amazon is. Walmart reported same store sales up 1.9%, which included a 35% increase in online shopping, I guess. So pretty interesting. Just more examples of the big stores not getting the foot traffic that they used to get. So pretty interesting there. Again, lots of stuff, kind of random today. It's just I got a full page of notes. So next up was IHG Hotels. Again, highlighting what we talk about on this channel. Lots of travelers are canceling their Asia trips. And without saying it, I think IHG is highlighting that people are going to Europe and Hawaii and other locations. Nobody wants to go on a vacation and be quarantined, so they are just changing their plans. The American consumers love to travel. We are feeling good, right? 3.5% unemployment. We just aren't such big risk takers, so we're going to go somewhere else, enjoy a couple of weeks, and come on back. Cool. Next up, the big news of the day that kind of caught my attention, kind of twofold, happens to do with Japan. Japan, first off, somebody on this channel actually highlighted yesterday that quarantine on a ship was just dumb, right? They didn't say it that way. I translated it that way. And they're right. Looks like the scientists of the world have come out and saying quarantining people on a cruise ship with no ventilation and all of that is stupid and exacerbated the problem. Again, there's now 542 cases on this ship, more than any other country other than China, which is just sad. People went hoping to be on a vacation. Many of them their first cruise, and now they've been subject to this horrible outbreak. Just bad. But the real big news is they're now saying Japan could be that second country we've all been worrying about, right? As long as it stayed in China, it was not a big deal. But we were very concerned that there may be a secondary country exposed, and it looks like Japan could be that country. They've had a double in cases just in the last 2 days, so people are raising the red flag there. So let's hope it's under control. Next up, did you see what Warren Buffett added to his portfolio? He's quoted all the time as being that guy that people watch. He added Kroger. And by added, I mean he bought 18.9 million shares. So when Warren goes in, he goes in. 18.9 million shares, pretty crazy. Looks like because of the Japan exposure, a lot of scientists are now saying that the likelihood of a worldwide pandemic have increased from 1 in 7 to 1 in 5. And trending in the wrong direction, so that's pretty concerning. And then last up, just for me, just something I've had interest in is why isn't Bloomberg getting a chance to debate, see how he handles the pressure. I've thought his commercials that have been blowing up my TV and social media have been at least interesting to watch. We will now see how he does in Las Vegas as he gets a chance to go on stage with the other candidates. And we will see what a capitalist billionaire and a socialist have to talk about, because I bet they are going to crush each other. Sanders has already come out and said some very nasty things. So we will see what happens. Get your popcorn ready. I think this is going to be a pretty testy debate and show people's true colors. So it will be interesting. So in the end, that's what I have for you today. Lots of stuff going on. I think the Apple warning is kind of the biggest thing. I did note that HSBC, a UK bank, is laying off 15% of its workforce, which is also significant. It looks like I missed that one. Sorry. I'm scanning my notes right now. But in the end, um, we're going to see what happens. I am actually a little surprised that Apple's not down more, right? Because it's not a supply problem, which I think gives you a muted response, but it's a demand problem, right? They gave a $4 billion range and they're going to miss that just 3 weeks later. I don't know. And, what other companies are going to come out? Because Cisco Systems was the first, and now Apple, really. So I think technology could be in for a bumpy quarter. So that's what I got for you today. Let me build my presentation on what we're doing in our business the next couple of years, and I will get that up later today. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.